What's up, friends? You're watching B-Boy 45 here in the Seacrest studio, Children's Hospital, Colorado. And we just wrapped up a fun day on air. Tuesday, of course, is today's date. But, typically we have Maya's show on Monday. But Maya, why are you there? Number one. Hello, Maya.
Yes. Hi.
Oh, hi. There you are. Yes. And tell me, why is today a special Tuesday?
Because Dave Coulier is calling in.
Because we got Dave Coulier calling in. That is awesome. Dave, thank you for making the time. Welcome to Maya's show.
Wow.
Maya, take it away.
Okay,
Listen to that applause. Wow, man, I'm overwhelmed. Hi, Maya.
Hi. So I just first of all want to say thank you so much for calling in. I'm so excited to be talking to you.
Oh, I am excited to be here. Thank you.
So my first question for you is when or how did you first discover your love of comedy impressions?
Well, I have a very large family and they all are funny. And so when I was a kid growing up, I had uncles who did impressions of comedians and they would do voices and imitate each other. And my brother and I had bunk beds growing up, my younger brother, Dan, and he actually taught me how to do voices. So we would lay in our bunk beds at night and we would do impressions of our aunts and uncles and people on our street where we lived in St. Clair Shores, Michigan. And he used to make me laugh so hard that I started doing impressions to make my friends laugh.
Oh, cool. So is there a comedian that's had a big influence on your comedy style?
There's been a few comedians that I really gravitated towards growing up. And one of them was Jackie Gleason, who was on a show called The Honeymooners. And he was very, very funny. And I would do impressions of Jackie Gleason when I was a little kid. And then as I got older, George Carlin was a big influence. I used to listen to all of his records. I used to love when Robin Williams first hit the stage. I used to love watching him because he was just so free as a performer. And then Robin and I later became friends once I became a working comedian in Los Angeles. So I think that those are probably the ones that really had a big effect on me growing up, and certainly comedians that I gravitated towards.
Oh, cool. So what made you want to transition into acting?
Well, I knew that if I was going to have a career that was going to last, I knew that I had to develop other skills. And so I knew that acting was definitely a skill that I had to learn because I was never in school plays. I was a jock. I was a hockey player. And so I was always on a hockey team, and I was on the hockey team in high school. And although I would have loved to have been in some of those grade school and middle school and high school plays, I never really did it because I was so involved in sports. So acting was really something that I had to learn to do. And I studied with a wonderful acting coach at the Academy of Performing Arts in Los Angeles. And his name was Gordon Hunt, and his daughter is Helen Hunt, the actress. And so I really had to learn how to be an actor. And once I learned how to apply that skill, I started going out auditioning for everything. And I had lots of failures along the way.
So you do a lot of voice work, and I was wondering, what is the biggest challenge in voicing and voicing animated characters?
For animation, you really have to immerse yourself into what that character is, because usually it's not human. For instance, when I was on the Muppet Babies, I got to work with Jim Henson, and I was Baby Animal and Baby Bunsen Honeydew. Yes, I was. And I was Waldorf and Statler, the two old men in the balcony. Yeah, yeah. You know what the best part about this show is? No, what's that? It ends. And so you really have to kind of let yourself become that character and let your animation run wild. And you really have to kind of find that inner child inside of yourself, that isn't afraid to daydream and fantasize about flying through the air and being a dog that walks backwards or a pair of talking socks. So those were always the biggest challenges for me. It was to never forget that this is professional immaturity.
Do you ever use your impression skills to help voice a character?
Sure. My voice has helped me a lot on shows like Full House and Fuller House. And the producers were very generous, letting me do all those voices. In fact, when we first started the first season of Full House, all of our writers and producers came down to a local comedy club that I was playing and watched my act. And then they incorporated a lot of things from those shows into the Full House scripts. So it was kind of neat being able to take things that I was already doing on stage as a stand-up comic and put them into Full House shows.
Oh, cool. So my next question is actually about Full House and Fuller House. So you played Joey in the shows, and I was wondering, was it strange to step back into character for Fuller House after so many years?
That's a really good question. It was remarkable when we all got back together, how it seemed like no time had passed. And so all of the silly jokes that we used to pull on each other and all the silly, dumb pranks and things that we used to do to each other, they all kind of came back. And being in that space where we all lived, quote unquote, all those years before, was pretty phenomenal. They always say, well, you can never go home again, but we all got to go back home. And I remember going to Warner Brothers and watching them build the set again for Fuller House. And I looked at the kitchen and I looked at the living room and I sat up in the bleachers and I started to cry. It was a very emotional moment for me, thinking, wow, I'm going to be on that stage in a couple of weeks, being this character with all of these people that I love so much.
Oh, cool. So what was it like to be part of such an iconic show?
Well, the first season, we were still kind of unknowns because we were on a Friday night on ABC, and Friday nights traditionally in those years were kind of a very quiet evening for television shows. And then second season, we became this huge hit, and we ended up being, I think, in the top 20. And it was like being shot out of a popularity cannon in front of the world. Suddenly, I would walk down the street and people were doing this, going, "Hey, there's that guy from Full House." And so it was a big adjustment, and it was something that I certainly had to learn to figure out, how I was going to deal with all these people and signing autographs and taking pictures with people. That was a new experience for me. So I had to really kind of not only learn how to be an actor on a sitcom, but I had to learn how to be this celebrity and how to be nice to people and how to, approach it the proper way, because, it only takes about 10 seconds to smile at someone and make them happy. And I always thought, I'm so lucky to be here. I'm going to give all of those people that smile, and I'm going to give them my time, and I'm going to, try and be very personal with each and every person. And I've never forgotten how lucky I am. And that's kind of how I approach it.
Oh, cool. Yeah. I watched the full series of Full House like a while ago, and then when I knew I was gonna be talking to you, I like rewatched it. I've been rewatching it, and so yeah, I just love that show. So
Thank you. And you know what? We love our fans, and it's been a real nice love affair between our fans all these years. And I think we all feel that way. I think the entire cast, certainly, I know for sure that we really appreciate our fans, and we really appreciate all the wonderful things that they've said about us. And done for us over the years, and we love knowing that we make people laugh and smile.
cool. So I know that you directed several episodes of Fuller House. What was the best part of stepping behind the camera?
Well, it was a big challenge for me to do that. There were a lot of things that I didn't know, little nuances. There were a lot of questions that I had to answer. And so I really worked very hard at being professional. And it was funny because it seemed like every time I was directing an episode, the producers would say, "You've got a whopper. This is such a huge show." So it would be the show where the car crashes through the kitchen and it's raining on our set in the backyard, and I would have all these special effects. Or it was the Christmas show, or it was, every show that I directed it just landed on my plate where it was this gigantic production with tons of actors and kids and dogs and a rabbit and, dancing and choreography and special effects. And I loved it. I loved that challenge. And I think it's because I really have right brain, left brain. And part of that, I think, is because I'm an airplane pilot. I'm an instrument rated pilot, and I love that technical side of things. But I also love the creative side as well. So I loved the challenge, and I hope to be able to immerse myself into that world again someday.
So where do you get your inspiration for your stand-up routines?
Sometimes it taps me on the shoulder and wakes me up at night, and I have my phone standing by, and I dictate the jokes. As a matter of fact, I just did one last night, and my wife knows if I start laughing while I'm laying in bed, she knows that I'm usually writing jokes. So I don't know when lightning's going to strike. Sometimes I'll just ad lib something and I'll think, "Ooh, that'd be a really funny bit." Sometimes I'll see someone do something really, really funny and go, "Ooh, that reminds me of something that could be really funny." I usually don't just sit down and say, I'm going to write something and I'm not going to give up until I'm done writing. For me, I really, sometimes I'll just stop because I'm not getting inspired. I've learned to really kind of give myself that freedom where I'm just like, well, not coming up with anything. Let's just wait until it comes back. So that's kind of the way I do it. Everybody's different, but for me, I just have to kind of wait for the moment and seize the opportunity.
Um, do you have a favorite character that you've played or voiced?
Really all of them. I love my job so much. I love all the cartoons that I've been able to do, whether it's American Dad or Robot Chicken or the Muppet Babies or the Real Ghostbusters. I just I'm fascinated by all the great the wonderful things that I get to do. So I look at them as a gift, first of all, and then I just try to work really hard to make that gift into something special.
Oh, cool. So, is there a personality trait that's gotten you in the most trouble over the years?
Yeah, I'm very immature. I just people always tell me that I'm a big kid, and I really am. I'm kind of fascinated with life. I constantly search for new fun things to do and new challenges, and I love building furniture. I love carpentry. I love fixing things and building things. So I just try to I just really try to have fun with life. And like I said, and now I'm professionally immature.
um, what do you like to do in your spare time?
I love playing ice hockey. I grew up playing ice hockey here in Detroit, Michigan. So I still skate. I'm very fortunate that I get to skate with the Detroit Red Wings alumni team, and we play games for charity. I love to play golf, and I love boating, and I love flying airplanes. Those are really kind of my fun things to do. So I get to stay pretty busy doing all those things.
Yeah. So are there any shows that you're currently binge watching?
I'm actually watching John Stamos' show, Big Shot.
Oh, yeah. We just finished watching that.
Yeah. Did you like it? I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we really liked it.
So I've been watching that. There's a bunch of shows that I have. I love Peaky Blinders. I loved binge watching that. I just re-binged The Sopranos, Ozark, Stranger Things, A Handmaid's Tale, and then I have to remember not to if I'm watching a show with my wife together, I have to remember to not ever watch a show when she's not there, because it feels like I'm cheating on her. And I did it one time where I thought, you know what, she won't mind. I'll just watch an episode and then she can catch up. And she came home and she caught me. I was laying on the couch and it was like I was cheating on her. She's like, "What are you watching? Who's that?" And I was like, that's a new character on our show, isn't it? And I was like, "Oh no." She's like, "I can't believe you did this. I can't believe you watched our show without me. I thought we were watching together." And I said, "I am so sorry." She's like, "You're cheating on me." And I'm like, "No, I'm not. I just was bored. And I thought, you wouldn't mind. And she goes, have you done this before? It's like, oh no. So that's kind of what I've been watching that, and I've been watching the Stanley Cup playoffs with the Tampa Bay Lightning and the Montreal Canadiens too. So.
Oh, cool. We've been like binge watching through quarantine. We've binge watched many shows.
What's your favorite?
Well, right now we're watching the Mysterious Benedict Society on Disney Plus.
Oh, good.
And that's really good. And then there's I'm watching there's a new CW show called The Republic of Sarah, which is really good. And then,
nice.
So, yeah, and I I binge watched all of The Flash at the beginning of quarantine. I rewatched all of that. And then I watched all of Arrow. And now I'm watching Legends of Tomorrow. So I always joke with my mom that I'm too busy to do anything else. So I'm committed to shows because there are a lot of seasons of all of those.
Oh, that's great. Well, that'll keep you busy for sure.
Yeah. It took me a couple months to finish The Flash and then watch Arrow, and now I'm watching Legends of Tomorrow. So.
Oh, that's great.
So, what song do you have on repeat on your playlist?
One song that I've been listening to a lot lately is a song by The Who, and it's from their Quadrophenia album, and it's called Love, Rain, or Me. And Quadrophenia is one of my favorite albums, and it's kind of a rock opera written by Pete Townsend, and I just love that entire album. But that song, for some reason, I've just been playing it over and over again. And then there's another song from the movie WALL-E, and it's called Down to Earth, and it's written and sung by Peter Gabriel. And it is one of the most beautiful songs I've ever heard. So I could listen to that song probably every single day.
Oh, cool. Yeah. So is there a show or movie that you always watch when you just want to be comforted?
Well, I think The Wizard of Oz is probably my favorite movie.
Oh, cool.
I have been watching that movie since I was a little kid, and it's one of my favorites. And I know everything about that movie and every scene. And when we were shooting the pilot for Full House way back in 1987, we actually shot on the same stage at MGM Studios where The Wizard of Oz was filmed back in the 1930s. And we were asked if we would like to see something special on the stage, and they pried up several levels of the floor, and they had kept the yellow brick road from The Wizard of Oz under there. And I couldn't believe it. I mean, they might have been just telling me that, but I still believe it. And it was pretty special to be able to shoot on that same stage.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
So what is your biggest pet peeve?
My biggest pet peeve, probably manners. I really, when I see people with bad manners, I just think it's just disrespectful to other people. Like maybe I'm just old fashioned, but I still hold the door. I'll hold the door for anybody, but out of respect for women, I like to hold the door. Or just I let women go first, just out of respect. But that's something my parents taught me, and I think manners is kind of my pet peeve, and it's just respecting other people, I think.
Yeah. So my last question for you is, who do you consider to be a real life superhero and why?
Real life superhero. I think there's one group of people who I think are real life superheroes, and I think they are right where you're at, doctors. I think doctors and teachers, I think, are real life superheroes. And I've met a lot of them. I've met a lot of doctors who have been real superheroes. And I've met a lot of teachers who are so dedicated to their students' abilities to learn. And I think that they really are superheroes in a lot of ways. And I think being a teacher is the most important job that we have in our society. And, the things that I've seen teachers and doctors do have been nothing short of miraculous.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree with those. I think nurses, doctors, teachers are all superheroes. Like, I've had a couple teachers who have made such a huge impact on my life. Like they and I'm so grateful to them. They've changed my life.
That's fantastic. That's really nice to hear.
So well, thank you so much for calling in. I had so much fun talking to you.
Thank you. That just flew by. I'm sitting here going, wait a second. We're going to spend some more time together, right? And it just has flown by.
I know. I didn't want to ask my last question. I was like, I just want to keep talking to you.
Well, that's so nice. And Maya, it is just a pleasure to talk with you. And I wish you nothing but the best, and keep doing what you're doing. And you just have such a nice, positive spirit about you. The world's going to be a very lucky place to have you in it.
Oh, thank you.
Dave Coulier, thanks for spending so much time with us today. And off air, you told us you got a brief glimpse into our hospital here a long time ago. But next time you're working Comedy Works or anywhere in the Denver area, please stop by. We'd love to have you in the Seacrest studios.
I would love to do that.
That is awesome.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Dave.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye. Tell your dad I said hi.
I will. That was Dave Coulier. How Coulier was that? You like that joke?
Yeah.
Maya, how did you like that? That was fun. Dave's an awesome guy.
That was. Yeah.
Dave's so cool. He's down to earth, so kind, and it was really, really a cool thing for him to be able to talk to you. Is there somebody else from the Full House world that you would also like to talk to?
Yes.
Who?
John Stamos.
John Stamos. All right. Well, maybe Dave Coulier could mention to John that he had a great time talking to you. We'll see. Right?
Yeah. And Candace Cameron Burr.
Okay. And Candace Cameron Burr.
She's in all the Hallmark Christmas movies, and so
you have to talk to her. Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to.
She's Christmas movie royalty.
Yeah, pretty much. What about Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen?
Yeah, I haven't watched anything else with. I don't think I've seen anything else with them.
Yeah, they were like babies when they were in that show.
Yeah.
They're kind of out of that world.
Don't they have another sister?
They do. Elizabeth Olsen, who plays Scarlet Witch in the Marvel movies.
Oh, yeah, and she was in one of my favorite movies, Liberal Arts.
Oh, there you go.
So,
Very cool.
yeah.
All right. Well, as always, you
Yeah.
got your list building up, so make sure to keep reaching out to those people. We'll do our best to get them talking to you, right?
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, Maya. Well, hey,
Thank you.
great show. And I think we get to talk to you again on
Thank you.
Friday, right?
Yes.
Awesome. All right. We'll see you Friday.
Okay. Bye.
Bye, Maya.